Hello, beautiful people of the internet. My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So lately, pretty much all of America has been in quarantine due to COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, and I know a lot of people are starting to get stir crazy and really bored. So today in this video, I figured I would give you guys some of my book and television recommendations for quarantine. Now, I'm not going to be recommending books about global pandemics to all you people out there watching Contagion. That's not what I'm going for in this video. I'm just going to recommend some books and shows that I really like and that I think will give you some escapism from the world, something to keep you occupied while you're stuck in your house for a long time. I hope that you enjoy this video and that my suggestions can help you if you're looking for something to read or watch. Let's just get right into it. First, a show that I really love and have talked about on my channel before. I think it's probably my favorite TV show that's currently airing is Outlander, which airs on Stars. However, you can watch the old seasons on Netflix. So even if you don't have Stars, you can still binge watch the early seasons. I love this show. It follows a World War II nurse named Claire, and after the war, she and her husband Frank go on a second honeymoon in Scotland. However, Claire ends up accidentally traveling 200 years back in time to Scotland during the Jacobite rebellions, where she falls in love with a Scotsman named Jamie, and she's not sure whether she should stay there with Jamie or go back to her own time where she has a husband who doesn't know where she is. And the show ends up taking place in different eras of history and different continents than that. But I just want to give you a basic summary for the beginning of the show. Jamie and Claire have a really great relationship that I personally am really invested in. I really like the two of them together, and I think the show is just so good. I would definitely recommend it. There is a season that is currently airing right now, and they just went from having a really bad episode to having one of the best episodes I think they've ever had. It was so well done and so emotional. It made me feel genuine emotions, which I'm not usually someone who gets really worked up over TV shows. Obviously, I love them and I get emotionally invested, but I'm usually not going to cry because of something that happened on a TV show. Even if a character I love gets killed off, usually I'll be like, well, that's sad, and I'm gonna move on. But that episode was so shocking and impactful. I just felt like I had to recommend Outlander again, because if you're not watching it, it is a great show. It has pretty much everything you could want from a TV show. It has romance and adventure and mystery and plot twists and OMG moments. It is just absolutely fantastic. I think the show doesn't get as much recognition as it deserves because it's geared towards more of a female audience. It has a lot of sex scenes, which honestly sometimes are a little too much for me, but you know, it is what it is. And I think because it panders to a female audience, it doesn't get as much respect as other shows like Game of Thrones, but the show is amazing. It's based on a book series by Diana Gabaldon. I've only read the first book, but I'm sure those would also be a great thing to read in quarantine if you would rather read the books and then watch the show. Point is, I really recommend Outlander in a book or TV format, and if you need something to binge watch or binge read, definitely recommend this. Now, to recommend a book, anyone who has seen my videos before and knows me knows that I love mysteries and thrillers. I just get so absorbed when I'm reading them. I love being able to put the little pieces together and to try to figure out who done it before the end. And I always love it, especially when the book genuinely shocks and surprises me. And one book that did just that is Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. This is a young adult mystery. Our main character, Anna, went on spring break to Aruba with some of her friends, and her best friend ends up being murdered on the trip. Now, Anna is accused of murder and locked up in a foreign prison, desperate to prove that she did not kill her best friend. This book is loosely inspired by the disappearance of Natalie Holloway, who was a teen on spring break in Aruba when she disappeared, and to this day they don't know what actually happened to her. When I started reading this book, I thought it was going to be a run-of-the-mill young adult thriller. I was gonna have fun with it, but it was gonna be pretty predictable. I went almost the entire book certain that I knew who killed Elise, Anna's best friend. I was so sure that I was right, and I was just thinking, well, it's gonna be so obvious, all the clues are there, blah, blah, blah. And then when I actually got to the ending, it was quite literally the last person I suspected. I remember I was reading this book, and when I got to the reveal, I was shocked. My jaw dropped. I just stared at the page trying to process what had just happened, and I instantly wished I had someone I could talk to about it because it was an amazing reveal that I never saw coming. I actually would love to read this book again to see maybe the clues that I missed the first time, because I was just not expecting it at all. I thought it was so well done, and if you enjoy thrillers of the YA variety, then I definitely think you should pick this book up. It will be very gripping. Now, another TV show recommendation. I recently found out that one of my favorite TV shows of all time is on Hulu, and if you haven't watched Revenge, I would definitely recommend it. It's sort of like a primetime soap opera show. If you like things like Gossip Girl or Pretty Little Liars, as I did in high school, I definitely think you would enjoy this show as well. It ran for 4 seasons on ABC. Revenge follows our main character, Emily, who moves into the Hamptons next to the wealthy Grayson family. However, Emily is not who she seems. Her real name is Amanda Clark, and when she was a young girl, her father, David, who worked for the Graysons, was arrested for terrorism. However, she believes her father was actually framed and he died in jail, an innocent man, because the Graysons turned on him. So she's going to get revenge on everyone who betrayed her father or die trying. This show is so much fun. If you like shows that are just guilty pleasure, soapy deliciousness, this is the show for you. It's 4 seasons. I think it has some great characters, great plot twists. It's super overdramatic, following these wealthy people in the Hamptons during the summer who just constantly act horribly, have awful secrets, and just dramatic things happen to them. Watch this. It's so much fun. You can't take it too seriously. There are some twists and turns in the plot that are great, some that are a little overdramatic or not as believable, but if you're looking for something to watch just for pure enjoyment, not take it too seriously, definitely watch this show. I think one of the reasons I look back on it so fondly is because it was canceled after 4 seasons, and while at the time I was so upset about that, in retrospect I think it was the best thing that could happen for the show because it ended at a perfect time and, in my opinion, had a great ending. Not everybody loved the ending, but I did. I think it was a spectacular ending. I think the show had great characters, some good ships, and I would definitely recommend it if you want a guilty pleasure binge. This next book I'm going to talk about, I read at least twice, possibly 3 times, and I think the reason I liked this book so much was because it was basically revenge in book form. I love revenge stories, and this one gave me very similar vibes to my favorite TV show. That's Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan, and this book is basically a primetime soap opera, but in a young adult book form. It is something you can't take that seriously, but if you just want to turn your brain off and read something really twisty and fun, I recommend this book to you. Our main character, Frances, is one of the only survivors of the sinking of the luxury yacht Persephone. When the boat was attacked and sunk, her parents and her friend Libby all died. The only other survivors were Senator Wells and his son Gray, who say that the ship was hit by a rogue wave, but Frances knows they are lying. With the help of Libby's father, she assumes Libby's identity and is trained up in order to one day expose the truth and get revenge against the Wells family. This story is just pure guilty pleasure read. It has some tropes that I actually really hate, like insta-love, and even Francis's friendship with Libby, I think, wasn't properly developed because she wants to avenge Libby, but they only knew each other for like a week before Libby's death. I think that this book has a lot of bad young adult tropes, but the reason why I like it is because it's just fun. If you want something not to take too seriously, just to be pure dramatic twists and turns, this is a good book to read. If you're someone who likes things like Gossip Girl, Pretty Little Liars, Revenge, this is like that, but in book form. It follows rich people behaving badly, revenge, exposing secrets, and I just love revenge stories. I eat them up every time. If somebody has this long-standing plan about how they're going to get revenge against the people who wronged those they love, I absolutely love that trope. I think it's one of my favorite tropes. I love revenge stories. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's that I love revenge stories, and that's why I liked this book. Even though it did lots of things that I don't like, I still liked it because it was so fun, and it also had really clever moments that I didn't see coming. So next, I'm going to recommend to you the last TV show that I watched in quarantine, which is The Stranger on Netflix. My mom and I watched this together. It's based off a book by Harlan Coben, though I've been told that the TV show goes in some different directions than the book does. I've never read a Harlan Coben book, though my mother has, and this show was a very quick mini-series, which I thought was just fun, and I was pretty absorbed by while I was watching. I just wanted to see what was going to happen next and how all the plot threads were going to come together in the end. So The Stranger follows our main character, Adam, who is living a seemingly perfect life with his wife, Corinne, and his 2 sons. However, one day, this strange woman, who he has never seen before, comes up to him and tells him that a couple of years ago, Corinne faked a pregnancy and miscarriage to prevent Adam from leaving her. And when Adam confronts his wife, she says, yes, it's true, but there's more to the story than he knows. Before Adam can get answers, though, Corinne disappears, and he has no idea where she went, but he has a feeling the stranger has something to do with it. Meanwhile, at the same time, local police are investigating the case of a teenage boy who was found unconscious in the woods after a teenage party, and they wonder if all of this is somehow connected. I thought the show was a lot of fun because they kept introducing new things and I was trying to piece together how they all went together. There were lots of twists and turns in the show, and it was just overall really good. I will say my mom correctly predicted for the most part what was going to happen. I didn't, but then once she explained it to me, I really agreed with her about how her theory made sense. So it wasn't 100% hard to predict. I think you definitely can figure it out. However, the 7 episodes definitely kept my attention, and they were a good way to pass the time when I had nothing else to do. So if you're someone who likes thriller books and you want a TV show to watch, this is one that I recommend because just like a thriller book, there's lots of twists and turns to keep you guessing, and it's really going to hold your attention until the end. I didn't 100% love the ending of the show, I will say. However, I don't regret watching it because I did have a lot of fun while I did, and my mom did as well. So if you have similar tastes to me and you love thrillers, I think this might be a good quick watch for you. And finally, my last recommendation for this video is a duology, and that is The Fixer by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've heard Jennifer Lynn Barnes' series The Naturals referenced on BookTube, though I've never heard anyone talk about this duology, and I personally really liked it when I read it a couple years ago. The Fixer follows 16-year-old Tess, who is sent to Washington, D.C. to live with her older sister, Ivy, and Ivy is DC's #1 fixer. When politicians or rich people have a problem or a scandal that they need to go away, Ivy is the one they go to. Tess soon finds herself being the fixer at her prestigious DC prep school, helping her wealthy classmates with their secrets. And then there is a big scandal and conspiracy that stretches from the hallways of Tess's school to Capitol Hill. I really liked this series. It reminded me of the TV show Scandal, which I used to watch when that show was was on with my family, and it was just a story that really made me want to keep reading until the end. There was a twist in this book which I thought was really great. I vaguely remember not liking the sequel as much. However, even though it's been several years, I remember thinking that it was a really fun duology. I haven't read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, but this duology made me want to because I thought it was just so much fun and there were some really great reveals and twists in the plot. It was very engaging and gripping, something that I wanted to keep reading until the very end. So if this sounds like something you might be interested in, I definitely think it would be a good binge read for quarantine. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of my book and TV recommendations for your quarantine. If you have any recommendations that you would like to give me, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new bookish videos every single Wednesday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thanks so much, guys, and I hope you have a neat rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you in the next video.